Hello, lovers and friends. So, let's see what's going on with this stick. uh, Today, I want to chat with you guys about an interesting question I got at a party recently. Let me just take this Ludens out. And the question was, how do you manage all the things that you're doing? Like, what do you do for self-care? This question was asked to me by a girl in her senior year at the University of Washington. And we're at a party and we're just chatting. And she asked that question, which was like pretty profound. I actually wanted to hear her answer first. Like, tell me, what are you doing? And she told me that she learned to be as forgiving to herself as she would a friend. That it's been harder for her to not be so critical of herself, and it's easier to think of herself like a friend. And I thought, my gosh, this is so great that you recognize that within yourself. And that's important, you know? It's so important. We have such higher expectations of ourselves than we do for other people because we want what's good. This is not something to, I feel, have a negative take about, but it's something to just feel very proud about, that you love and want the best for yourself. And so today we're going to chat a little bit about things we can do to up-level ourselves, including balance, including self-care, and forgiveness. So the first one is balance. You have class, maybe you have work, 9 to 5, and you're interested in up-leveling your life. I had the benefit of conferencing with several multimillionaires, and not just because they had money, which is what made them wealthy or me want to listen to them. They had overall wealth. I'm talking health, financial abundance, and they were prosperous emotionally, in their families, psychologically, in giving, in education, and they continue this learning. And from there, I really took that balance is one of the most important things that we can have in self-care. And not so much, what is it that I'm doing? How can I move forward and just manage everything as it is, and without thinking of adding more things onto my plate. Just more of like, I love myself so much, let me just get a massage today. Or in my case, when I was traveling and in Mexico and a little bit in Thailand, when I had Asia, actually, like, money is a renewable resource. It ebbs and flows. And so when there were valleys or when it was a desert at times, what did I do to like care for myself? I found lots of free things around. Yoga. YouTube was amazing for this. To put on some workout videos and just get my heart pumping, blood circulating in my body and my brain, getting endorphins out. Getting out and meeting people was usually free. It sometimes takes pulling out of your shell and putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. How can we apply this now? So right now, you may be listening to this in your house. Maybe you're on a bus. Maybe you're on a train and you have your headphones in. Maybe you can take them out today. Just have a chat with 5 people. Just see how it's going. You may come out with friends. You may find that it's a very easy transition to just say, hey, how's it going? And really listen to someone who really needed to meet you today, or needed you today, or was able to serve you today. I found that in balance comes from both serving and being fulfilled. I used to tell a friend, you cannot accept with a closed fist. You can't, nothing can come to you if you're not open to receiving it. And wow, like this is something even I'm speaking to myself, to be honest, because like sometimes you get something and you want to squirrel it away. But balance comes from giving and receiving. Balance comes from exerting energy and pouring back into yourself. This can also be done in nutrition. So making sure all of your meals have like basic nutrients or macronutrients, fats, carbs, protein. It can be something very simple like getting a nice dish to eat, or going to the farmer's market or just any market to pick vegetables and cook it for yourself. It could be taking an extra long bath. These are amazing ways to focus on yourself. And the next, these are kind of intermingled, but through self-care, if you can just this week commit yourself to one thing you want to implement in your life. Getting out and socializing is huge, but socializing, I feel, is also one umbrella. The umbrella is just socializing. They're socializing with yourself. They're socializing in a business context. Maybe you're going to networking events, but you aren't really hanging out and meeting different people your age, or just mingling with different people. And that's really important. I do find that this grows in a wealth of ways that you can have conversations with anyone about any subject when you feel open to them. Not just in your networking groups, not just at a hostel, or not just with your professor or instructor or coach. So physical health is number one. Take a walk, do a couple jumping jacks, maybe some planks, maybe some burpees. Just do what you can to get your heart moving, and exercise gracefulness and tenderness with yourself. What does that mean exactly? How can I be tender, Marinike? Like, how can I even be tender to myself? Well, this is a bed. And sometimes being tender means feeling like you don't have to get up and run everywhere. Sometimes when the alarm hits, it's like 4:45, and you want to put on your shoes and go for a 2-hour run and come back and shower and cook your like avocado toast. What's up, millennials? But sometimes it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you just don't want to get out of bed because you have 40 things to do, and not because you're feeling so quote-unquote depressed, but maybe it's time to just know that your purpose, you're just wealthy in breathing today. This is how I was able to find wisdom in this young woman's response to loving and like being very generous and like forgiving of herself the way she would with a friend. So the next time you want to criticize yourself, say, well, I have to get stuff done, I need to be productive today. That was a huge phrase, wasn't it? It's always a big deal to our parents, to ourselves, to maybe even judgment on other people. Are they doing anything productive? But productive doesn't exactly mean you're out running wheels like a hamster, like running in a hamster circle wheel. It means that whatever you're able to do, it had positive intention, or something, your laser focused attention is at it. And how does that even equate to laying in bed? Like, it means that you're so focused on resting that if you don't do much today and you just watch Netflix in a bed and just enjoyed resting for the day, you were productive. You were productive in taking care of yourself. So it's so important you guys to make sure that you are loving on yourself. And how can you love yourself financially? What does that even look like? Does that mean you can spend all of your money every day at Starbucks? If you have enough, yes. But if you're building something and you have multiple things going on, let's say you just got your children into preschool. They're now in school and you have your time back, and you also are going back to work, and it's hard to keep up with all of life's demands and your children. You finally get a chance to breathe, blah, blah, blah. It's just stressful. How do you take that time for yourself? How do you manage your finances? Like, there are no finances. Like, there's kids in school, and there's diapers, and there's bills, and so just breathe. Take a breath. Loving yourself financially means paving a pathway so you can have excellence. Paving a pathway so you can have the things that you want. It doesn't mean starvation. It does not mean that you're always spending. It's, once again, balance. Maybe once a week, taking yourself out for something good, or your family. But it's squirreling it away, investing it. That's how one acquires balance. Renegade, I have nothing. Like, my bank account is negative $25. And I have overdraft fees coming up. That's okay. We've all kind of been in this boat where finances, like I said, ebb and flow. Money is a renewable resource. Wealth and taking care of yourself and balance means searching for ways, asking for an idea, asking yourself, God, in prayer, in fasting, in meditating, in writing in your journal, what is it that I can do? What kind of idea can I get? How can I expand on this? What do I love doing? And journaling all of these things and allowing these ideas to come to you so you can save your money and invest it in everything that is going to grow beyond your wildest dream, because your energy is in something very positive. It's in your passion. This is where you are really taking care of yourself because you're happy now. Yeah, you are happy. So, how do you guys feel? Do you feel like you're ready to love on yourselves physically, mentally, emotionally? Are you able to read books? If you don't have time to read at least 15 minutes a day, I'm going to go through a book review of a few books that I've been reading this month before it's up. Oop, my stick. How's the case? Okay, here we go. The camera. And why it's important to also feed your mind and be kind to your mind, not just investing everything in your business, in your school. I was sitting on my way to somewhere to volunteer, and I sat next to this man who was so excited. He just moved from Asia and he started a PhD program, and I don't know what asked me to like speak to him, but he was so excited about it. And I just shared with him, you know, both of my parents worked as professors and they loved what they did, and I saw a lot of things like the struggle, some of the things behind closed doors that happen, and how can we have a good time doing this and still be wealthy and still manage ourselves and our families and our time and everyone else's schedules. And I shared this with him, that balance is so important, that, you know, if you spend only 2 hours or 3 hours after class, no more than that, you can spend more time with your family. Because when all is said and done, you're going to get your PhD, which you will. You're going to want to spend time with your family. Like, when all is said and done, you want them to like you. You want them to actually be able to come and speak with you. And he had a newborn son, or he was at least like of infant age. And so, oh, what's happening with the camera? Yeah, he was of infant age. And I just shared with him, there's things that, I wish my parents had done differently. I love them. But, coming up, I wish that maybe we had a little bit more time together. And this was one of the chats in this conference when I was able to have an association with very wealthy people. Like, how can you be happy and prosperous? And the answer is that all your attention doesn't go to the one thing that you're doing. You have to spread it out. They said that, you could have all this money or you could have this degree, but half of the time if your kids don't like you, then what was it for? It's spending time, it's being available, it's taking a lot of breaks, it's being okay with laying in the bed for like 2 hours watching movies on your phone or reading that book for an extra while, extra hour, extra day, picking up self-help books, finding positive friends, bigger aspirations. And not that anything is wrong with where you're headed, just important to know that you have things that you enjoy doing on this earth. As Abraham Hicks says, we can never get it done, we can never get it right. There's always going to be so much to do. Even on your deathbed, you're going to say, if I had 15 more minutes of air, I would do this, this, this. It's being gentle on yourself these times. It's knowing that the work is not going to go anywhere, so you might as well enjoy what time you have focusing on yourself, focusing on your family. So self-care is so important, guys. Your mental health is number one. Your physical health is number one. And everything else that you do after that, I do feel is also a priority in your life, but you are number one. And one of the godfathers of business shared that it's important to work more on yourself than you do on your business, than you do on school, than you do on maybe taking care of your body, if that's what if you're just into bodybuilding 24/7, if you're someone's personal trainer. That's important, but build yourself up as well. I recommend, if you're open to this, listening to positive affirmations, motivational speeches once a day, at least 15 minutes. Type in YouTube some sort of positive affirmation and see what you can get out of that. Abraham Hicks is a great place to start. Affirmations, Power Thoughts Meditation Club. I know I love them so much, and I just support them any way I can. And yeah, it's just really great. I really recommend just giving them a listen and seeing what you can do, and just remember that you are your own best friend. And this is the best way to love on yourself. You guys, thank you so much for hanging in there. It's not easy doing what you do, but it's amazing. And just by breathing, you've already done your job. It's fun to create. It's fun to co-create. It's fun to pray. But sometimes, if you don't do anything, you've done a lot at all. If you go into meditate into a cave, if you've gone into the woods to just dance and go hiking or camping, you've done a lot. You are already productive as it is. You took a breath, and that was your job. You smiled at someone. You helped someone. You gave someone instructions. You lifted someone up in positive commentary. And you ended a karmic cycle, or you began one, or you focused on yourself. You worked on your body. It feels much better. And just remember, you're worthy. You guys are enough. You are amazing. You are unstoppable. And there's nothing you can't do, be, or have. Take it all. All right. Thank you so much for commenting, subscribing, liking, and I'll see you next time for another video.